So why don't you ask me what I did last night?
What did we do last night, honey?
We went to Vanessa's 50th birthday party. For you folks that know Francesco and Andrea, the guys that own the residence, well, Vanessa happens to be Esther's Sicilian sister. And I have to say, Esther, number one, it was an honor and a privilege
We
going
were
there.
among friends and a very small group of people. And just so you know, 50th birthdays are huge here in Sicily. They make a big deal out of it. 18th, we went to Amazio's. That's a big deal. 18 and 50th are big birthdays. So it was great. There was a band. There was lots of great food, although there was nothing for this one to eat because it was all healthy and was fish and vegetables and there was no steak, there was no this, there's that. But
wait a minute. I had
there was pasta.
what are those things called? Mojitos?
Oh, mojitos.
Oh my goodness gracious free. And here's the other thing, okay? Last night there was a bevy of beautiful women there, all right, in their 40s, mid 50s, maybe early 50s, and guys that looked like Adonises. I mean, these Sicilian men were so handsome. Maybe when I was getting a little woody, it was just unbelievable, right? So, and then there's me, and
come on!
I kind of felt I kind of had a little inferiority complex.
First of all, I kept saying to him, "You're so handsome. Will you dance with me?" Of course, he wouldn't dance with me. So he sat in the corner and, as usual, drank his mojitos and had his little stogie. But people came up to you, had fun. Basta. You had a good fun. It was live music. You enjoyed the live music. For crying out loud.
Despite the fact that I'm, substantially older than you are, and seeing all these young, handsome Adonises over there, and these beautiful women.
You weren't the oldest one there.
The saying by Groucho Marx.
Okay, let's hear it.
Mind. You're only as young as the woman you feel. That's all I want to say.
That just doesn't even make sense.
Because Esther was the most beautiful of them all. In a beautiful dress that she had, right? She had a great dress on.
Pink dress that I got from Hungary.
From Hungary, a Hungarian dress. That means it was backwards, but it was a great dress. It was a great dress. She was happy as hell. And guess what? I was happy because she was happy. So it was a great time. And I want to thank Francesco.
It was a beautiful party.
Vanessa for inviting us, Auguri. And that's what I wanted to say about that. And I have a couple other things to say.
By the way, today, if you're watching this on September 3rd, is their wedding anniversary. And we did a whole video on their wedding. That was last year. I'll leave you a link to that. But now let's get to the crux of the matter.
Wait a minute.
Wait a second. We're going to get to the crux of the matter, which is why we love fall, why we love Sicily in the fall. So besides the obvious that the weather's cooler, there's not more of that scorching heat, although it's been a little hot today. What are the other reasons? Well, for me, one of the most beautiful things is that the fall harvest starts, the fall produce, and that means artichokes, chestnuts, what else? Prickly pears, figs. Oh, figs.
Don't forget, you like your green vegetables too.
That's a winter thing.
Listen, for me, it's the festivals. All right, the festivals. It's like, I don't know what it is. Every night there's bombs going off, fire bombs or whatever these things are called, fireworks. But there happens to be the biggest festival, Sicilian festival, yesterday, Friday, and today happens to be in Lawrence, Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah.
The 100th anniversary of the Feast of the Three Saints, featuring a 70-person delegation from Sicily, including the Archbishop of Catania, the pastor of Sant'Alfio Church in the Castagni, a beautiful band. And I would be remiss, Bunsta, if I didn't call out the president of the St. Alfio Society, my cousin, by the way, Tony Parmesano, who did a great job delegating a great group of guys. Remember?
Buona festa.
Just remember one thing. That was the feast. My grandfather, Gaetano Turissi, and 5 other guys started that festival 100 years ago. And to make things even better for myself, for this week, my cousin Alfred's arriving. It's my first cousin.
So that'll be
Gaetano
a future
Turissi.
video.
Gaetano Turissi was also his grandfather, because we're first cousins. And we're going to go to Tricastagni this week. And
And
for the
that's gonna be
first time,
next
my
week's
cousin,
show.
next week, right? And my cousin Alfred is going to lean against the wall of his grandmother's house in Tricastagni, our ancestral home. So
I love that
I'm
story.
very excited, and it's happening in the fall. So now you can have another one.
Can we get back to the subject at hand? So talk about festival. Today was the festival of the Madonna Nova. There's also a fried food festival. Did you know that? Fritura, arancini, and all types of stuff in Via Grande. There's a cultural festival. This is the start of a lot of sagras too, celebrations of food. There's going to be the pistachio festival, all types of fall. Oh, and in October, we have Ottobrata. We have an entire tour around Oktoberfest in Zaffarana Etnea. So for me, foods, festival, and now you go.
Well, we
third one.
just want to, from what you
October.
said about the Oktoberata, the festival that she called in Zaffarana dell'Etna, that's kind of like the granddaddy of them all in the eastern section of Sicily, which where all the vendors display all the products that they have,
Handmade.
the harvest, and everything from wine to what else? Honeys to
Well, there's
artisan
everything.
crafts, everything.
Woodworkers, people
Tens
working
of
with
thousands
metals.
of people go, and guess what? Most of the stuff is free. Me, I go to the liquor section because all the liquors are there, and they give out
The
free little
Sicilian
samples.
liquors. That's right. They have wine.
Not
They
bad.
have the sweet. It is probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, on the East Coast, and it is extremely well organized. So if you're visiting in the fall, make sure you go to Ottobrata. It's every single Sunday, only in October. And each weekend they have a certain theme. So, for example, let's say one weekend will be focused on wine. One weekend will be focused on olives because the harvest is going to happen. So it's a great, great time. The other thing that I love about the fall is that because of it's not so hot, things start clearing up. So there isn't that haze. In July and August, we have a lot of haze. So when you look at Etna these days, you can really see clearly the definition. So I love this period because even we can see Calabria, Reggio Calabria on a clear day. So that's another bonus.
The only unfortunate thing that happens, Esther, and I'm really disappointed about it, like today, for example, is that once school starts and school begins kind of like next week, it kind of opens up over the next 3 weeks. They close the Lidos down, the public structures that they put out over
Close
the
them in
years.
October.
Yeah, the end of September.
Yeah.
Okay. Which means that, I can't go this year.
Okay. Okay. Just so you guys know, he hasn't gone in years. I'm the one that likes to go to the Lido.
I'm not
That's
a
a
Lido
good point.
guy. I'm not
Let
a
me
Lido
so
guy.
you guys know what a Lido is a structure that they build off if there's a rocky or pebbly beaches over here on the East Coast. There's a number of them, and you can pay 15-20 euro and get access to the water with stairs, a bed, an umbrella, and there's a bar over there. But the good news is that when the school starts, then there's no kids over there at the Lidos, and even on weekends you can go. That's another point. Even in the fall, you can go swimming in Sicily. So if you're not going to a Lido, but you're going to a beach, last year, listen to this. Last year in October, I had a great group here from Canada. And in October, we were in Cefalù. I went swimming. So September, October, there's still a lot of stuff that you would think it's only summer, but no. And here's one more thing that is great about the fall. That's a little bit less touristy. So guess what? All the spots, all the touristy spots that are packed in July and August, all of a sudden you can walk through. Now listen, if you're in Taormina and there's a cruise ship coming on September, October, disregard what I just said, because inevitably there's going to be a lot of tourists. But typically September, especially October, you're seeing less tourists in all the hot spots.
I want to give a shout out at this particular juncture. We were talking about Lidos, and when I was thinking about Lidos, I'm thinking about swimming pools. And when Mike and Anne-Marie Watt used to live here before they got restationed in the United States. We used to go to their house in Nicolosi area for their pool. But yesterday, their daughter got married. I believe it was yesterday.
Yes,
Right?
auguri.
And I wanted to wish the entire Mike's family and Anne Marie, the two beautiful daughters, a lot of luck.
Mike also was in the military at Sigonella for many years, and we
Right.
miss him very
Great
much.
dear friends. We wish we were there with you, Mike. And at some point in time, we're gonna be with you just to come visit. But that's a good thing. And the other thing that I like about Sicily
In
It-
the fall.
in the fall is that the bugs go away.
Ooh,
But thank
that's a
God for the
bonus.
wildfires this year, because a lot of the bugs got burnt up. There wasn't too many bugs this year. Actually, I only had to kill like one or two bugs in my house the whole year. I didn't.
That's probably because you left the door open.
No. Seriously. Usually in past year, those damn mosquitoes, right? They would just freaking bite you. But thankfully, what they do now, from what I
Yeah.
can see, like I was looking at Jen just a little while ago, they bite the tourists. They bite Jen. She looks like she's very biteable. Wait till you see her. She's very biteable. So,
On
and she's
that
got
note,
a big rod.
do you have another fall thing? Else, I'm gonna have
I'm
Mike
just in
come
a
in.
good mood today. For heaven's
You're
sakes.
tired. I know.
I'm
You're
not-
another.
I'm-
I'm shocked you're not drinking something. All right, you have one more fall thing to say.
There's a lot of things in the fall that I like.
Like
Esther.
what? I'm still waiting for something
The
substantial.
best thing I like is I know that by the end of October, okay, is going to be a feast called San Martino, where the grapes that they're busting their chops to harvest now, starting next week,
Mhm.
officially that grape juice can be called wine.
And of course, there's going to be an entire festival around that.
And that's the day where
And-
we drink wine. It's a little bit like grape juice. You eat sausage, you eat chestnuts, and the whole.
The chestnuts. We forgot the chestnuts. Oh,
That's for me is the fall.
and then we have All Souls and All Saints Day, right?
Wait a minute.
November 1, November. That's also in the fall. And we
Yeah.
like those cookies and
the
only-
Monicas, yeah.
only in the fall. You know, the great thing about Sicily, that things are seasonal. So we have these festivals, and then those Monicas, those chocolate
Oh,
cookies,
with
they're
the
only available then. So Alfred's
Right.
like, get me 20. And then by the time he's done, he's going to be sick of it and ready won't want another one until next year. It's perfect.
That's
Same
why I
thing
say-
with my artichokes.
Whoop.
I eat a lot of artichokes, and then I get to a point where I'm like, okay, next vegetable, I'm ready. I can wait for one more year.
I'm telling you right now, binge eating has a little bit of, goodness to it, because you can eat 20 cookies, and then after 20, you're like sick of them, right? But they don't come around till
Next year.
next year. But other cookies come around. So, I mean, it's very,
And
very, very.
then wait, the purple cauliflowers. Ooh, I can't wait to have the purple
How about,
cauliflowers.
wait a minute. Right about now, starting in a couple weeks, all the little sheep and lambs that are, grazing and hopping around all over Etna, guess what? They're all going to be,
Oh, the lamb.
they're going to be harvested, so to speak, lovingly, of course, but they're going to be harvested. And that means good lamb, September, October,
November.
and then over. And then when you get just sick of lamb, say, oh no, I don't want any more lamb, the bacala comes out, the cod. So
from
yeah,
Norway.
and it happens quick. It happens quick. And don't
See.
forget the turkey. They're as big as a brontosaurus.
Those are
the tur-
always over.
The turkeys are the biggest things I ever saw. So food here is great. And
And
I
it's
think
seasonal.
that
That's
you
the
ought to
best thing.
come, hang out with us, come to our October tour next year, the 24th. We already have reservations, don't we?
For 2024. So far, we have
2024.
our May Grand Tour, our June Tour, our July Tour. The Tuscany Sicily one is going to go up there, and then our October tour. So it's a great time. Depends. If you want to come in the spring, there's a lot of stuff that happens in the spring. Our entire Grand Tour is around the Noto Flower Festival, the famous Noto Flower Festival. That's an event. worth visiting and worth seeing and experiencing. You know, Mike and Jen are here at a perfect time because there's one festival after another. There's sagas, there's festival. It's something really that if you come here, if you can, try to attend.
You know, we also do, we call unadvertised tours. For example, I think, isn't Tom coming over? Who's coming in?
Tom and Karen.
Tom and
For
Karen
New
are
Year's
going to be
Eve.
joining with us. We're going to go to the Excelsior Hotel to experience, so they can experience New Year's Eve in Taormina.
In
It's
my opinion, one of the best.
probably, yes. Okay, so that's kind of like unadvertised. If there are one or two more of you folks who would like to do that, we may be able to put something together. And the other thing is for Carnivale. I think it's in March this year, right?
Oh, it is that late?
Ooh, I
When
don't
is
know.
Easter?
I don't know. It's
Mardi
not-
Gras.
Mardi Gras. What Mardi Gras is, we may want to do something.
February
Because,
is a great time.
yeah, there's nobody here. The weather's okay. It's not freezing cold.
It's
No,
like
we don't
no
get snow.
no jacket during
It's
the
great,
day, and then
yeah.
a light jacket. And you
So
know,
if you're
we've
interested in
been
coming
really
here,
lucky here.
by the way, the flight rates are a lot lower. Okay,
In
off
February,
season,
of
yeah.
course, all the
November,
rates.
December, January, February, first half of March, they're usually about 30%, 40% cheaper than as a high season.
June, July, August
they
is
go
the
up, yeah.
most expensive. At this point, can we invite Mike
Sure.
into?
Okay.
Let me just say hello.
Wait a minute.
You'll be back in 5 minutes.
Wait a minute. I need a hand getting up. She was like, "Oh, how are you going to get up with your knee?
Okay. Michelle
Watch me
says,
get up."
I'm watching. Michelle says, so true, Esther. We are still going to the
Help
beach
me, help me.
and swimming in November. Suzanne Scarpala, hello. Rose, hello. Nancy Moranto, ciao. Jim Ingram, Pete Scipoletti, Tony Patty, hello, everyone. Joanne Borelli. And now let me introduce Michael Kaufman, who, come a little closer, closer. There you go.
There we go.
You're going to look right over there.
Got it.
This
Okay.
is Michael Kaufman, and he was in Sigonella.
Ciao a tutti.
Ciao a tutti. Oh my gosh, he's Italian. He's just here a few days and he's going. He's like having conversations with people. It's great. So he was here for 3 years in
76 to 1979.
we're talking 45 years ago. And I think one of the most obvious things, before I ask you the first question, by the way, the reason he's here is because he's not Sicilian, nor is he Italian, nor is his beautiful wife. He fell in love with Sicily. Anyone can relate? Anyone can relate? Hello, I'm not Sicilian. And it just gets into bloodstream. And he'd been talking about it for years.
45 years.
He's been coming back.
It's not necessarily the weather. It's not necessarily the events. It's not necessarily anything. It's the people.
Bravo. I agree 100%.
And the culture. I've said for the past 45 years that the most American, and please, I mean this with all respect, the most American place that I've ever found in the world is right here in Sicily. And it's because of what I think we've lost as a culture in America can still be found here in Sicily.
I love that. That's so beautiful. So I want to ask you, I guess, the most obvious question, and you've only been here a few days. And
aspetta un momento.
See?
I first want to say that I agree with my brother Alfred that my wife Jen is definitely biteable.
I'm with the guy. I gotta tell you guys, I'm with him and Alfred together. I'm in trouble. So let me ask you this. Now, keep in mind that Mike didn't leave the base a lot, correct?
Correct.
So,
well, I lived in Moda.
You lived in Moda, San Antonio. James Ingram, hear that? So you lived in Moda, so you did live in the community. You did go to Acetrezza, Taormina, Ortigia. But let me ask you this. From the few days that you've been here, what are some of the biggest changes that you've observed?
Oh, the infrastructure is completely more developed. I mean, for example, the European Union was not here.
Yeah.
It was still, the lira was the Italian currency. The politics have changed dramatically. I think it was much more, I don't want to say revolutionary, it's much more pronounced then. Social Democratic Party,
Yeah.
the Communist Party. Today, things seem to have calmed down from an Italian perspective, calmed down more than they were back in the day.
Mhm.
Although they're still pretty dramatic with all the more recent events that's happening in Italian politics. The infrastructure is much improved.
No.
I mean,
I gotta tell you guys
except
this.
you still need to have your fiber optic
Oh,
brought up here,
yes,
Esther.
yes. Now listen to this. You won't believe this. It's the first time he's had a cannoli. He never had a cannoli 45 years ago. First time he had a granita. Never had a granita. First time he had an arancini. And every time were you like, oh,
Absolutely.
What was your favorite?
I think it was the granita.
Oh, he's had granita twice already, only 4 days here.
But I don't need brioche. I don't need a cornetto. Solo the granita.
That's enough. That's all you need. And we have a lot more things to look forward to. So now let me ask you this. So you're thinking of perhaps, if not fully relocating, then doing a few months here, a few months there.
See.
And why would you want to do that?
Obviously we can afford to do that. I think we're at a time in our life where, because we can afford to do that, why not? Children are grown, they're off, they're doing their own
Sicily
thing.
isn't attractive enough for you to do that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's providing the best lifestyle that I've seen in the world at a very affordable price.
Very true. And like you said, it's like life stands still. Pat Grilli, here she is. Are we going to see the wife, Jennifer? Look how beautiful she is.
Hello,
Jennifer,
everyone.
What do you think of Sicily so far?
Oh, I love it. It is.
Look up here.
It is everything Michael has been talking about for all the years we've been together. It's everything that you and Alfred have portrayed in all the Sundays that Michael and I have watched your show since he discovered it on YouTube in planning this trip. So I am simply along for the ride and enjoying every minute of it. As a foodie, I couldn't be more thrilled. My scale may not be thrilled when I return, but I am thrilled right now.
Listen to what we're having tonight, because when we did our initial Zoom consults, there's a thing that, Esther, when I get, I have to have this. And they've been married 18 years and she's been hearing about this for 18 years.
Right.
We're having
Pollo arrosto, e patata,
with rosmarino,
e pane.
Roasted potatoes,
Mhm.
a roasted chicken, simple, and it's stuffed with olives and onions and fresh crusty bread.
It's one of the few things I have not been able to duplicate.
This is a lot of pressure on me. Today's going to be another one of those checks. What are you looking forward to doing?
Oh, just more of what we've been doing, just going to all the different towns, seeing all the different culture. The people are so welcoming and inviting. Everywhere we go, they engage in conversation. I don't speak but maybe 3 words of Italian. I am simply letting Michael do most of the interpreting along with you.
Limoncello.
Limoncello, yellow nails.
Limoncello. Yeah.
So I'm just looking forward to more of what we've been doing and just continue to
I
experience
just
it.
want you to know that our good friend Pat Grilli says, yes, she's biteable.
Thank you.
and
Oh, she's been stopping traffic. People stop on the street, look at her because she's also very tall.
yeah, and they're like, "Are you German?"
And-
And we're like, "Oh
and the answer
no,
is yes.
we're just Americans."
And while they may not be in the chat, if Neil, Kate, and or Astrid, hello, since Neil just sent out the link before we started that I told him we would be going live on You, Me, and Sicily. So my CEO and
Ciao.
boss is watching.
I did want to say something about the limoncello nails.
Tell me.
Apparently, it's a universal language. I did not know this.
Of course.
But
The nails.
what happened this morning at breakfast with the granita?
Oh, she brought it over and complimented my nails and just pointed to her nails. There was no words needed.
No
to be
words
exchanged.
needed to be exchanged.
But they got each other.
They got it.
You guys are making me want to make my reservations. Rose, we're waiting for you. 2024. Take him to Antica Sicilian. Jim Ingram, duh, of course, it's on the list. They're here for 21 or 22?
22.
22 days. 22 days in Sicily. So there you go.
Grazie molto.
Grazie, and we're going to see much more of these guys because
Ciao
I
a
want to.
tutti.
I want to interview you guys at the end to see what it was. Oh, by the way, before you guys go, so we're sitting in Aci Castello, which I'm sure you guys know we featured many, many times. We're sitting in the little piazza. You know, the piazza looking at the beautiful castle and the Ionian Sea, and there's the square, and there's kids playing soccer and on the bikes, and people doing the passeggiata. And this one, what happened? This one right here,
Overcome with emotion.
crying, overcome with emotion. And what was it that bit you then?
A feeling of belonging. That there was no other place that we belonged than right there in that moment, in that
It
town,
shows just you telling me that.
in that piazza.
Not to mention the restaurant we found after 45 years where he had his dinner.
45 years ago, we had a dinner down in Acitrezza, and we're like, is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one? And it turned out that the guy who came out, his grandfather had been there. So it was probably the restaurant you ate at in
Yes.
Acitrezza
Yep.
45 years ago. What a beautiful
Oh,
story.
it was a beautiful story.
All right, we'll see much more with Mike and Jen. Now we're going to bring back Alfredo Sauce so he can entertain you with all his stories, regale you with all his jokes, and all that stuff. Huh? Didn't they do a great job? Linda Brown, I have such a drawing to Italy. Are you Italian? Are you Sicilian? It's good. Listen, like I always say, Sicily gets into your bloodstream. When I first got here in 2014, 9 years ago, I can't believe it's 9 years ago, it just got into my bloodstream and I fell in love with Sicily. And I've really captured in everything that I can to show you guys what Sicily is about. And as Mike said very eloquently, mainly, mostly, soprattutto, above all, it's about the people. And they've seen, Mike and Jen, going to places, everyone knows my name. They go above and beyond just to help me. So it's a pleasure. I want to say thank you to you.
Thank you. What did I do?
For bringing me here to Sicily.
You brought yourself here. I mean, basically, you didn't have to stay as long as you did. And how long are you staying, by the way? Anyway, I want to talk about something serious for about 3 minutes. It's on my, it's right here in my throat.
Okay, Sherry says, Buongiorno, I agree with everything Michael says. It's the people. My sister speaks the Italian, and I don't, but a few words. So what I do is hug everyone. That's great, Sherry. Sherry and her sister, and they were in Sheffield, met up with them. So great to see a lot of our fans out and about in Sicily.
Could I talk about a serious thing for 2 minutes?
Yeah. After Nancy says, I've got tears now hearing Mike choked up. Me too. Okay, Alfredo Sauce, we're ready for you.
Earlier this week, a man wrote a comment on one of our videos. Every time you write a comment, we see it. Okay. And sometimes there are morons that are trying to spam us and we have to get rid of them and stuff like that. But this one guy said some really bad things about Sicilian people because of the garbage situation.
Oh, yeah.
And to the point where he says, well, I can understand that it happens there because they're animals or something along these things. So, of course, I hit the roof and I blocked him. And I got to think about it. And after looking at the garbage in other countries in Italy, more specifically France, for example, I have to say this about garbage situation. First of all, you may not know it, but garbage is picked up every day of the week, 6 days a week. On Monday, they pick up the wet stuff. We call it rifiuti. It's the table scraps. On Tuesday, they pick up broken, dry things. like broken glass or broken ceramic or stuff like that. On Wednesday, they pick up bottles. On Thursday, they pick up again the rifiuti again. They pick that up 3 days a week. And then they pick up the paper. And then on Friday, they pick up plastic.
Can I give context for people? So just we're in a gated community, gated apartments. And what happens is the guy with the truck drives in and you have to put it in outside of your door. So everyone makes sure that they put out the right thing. So it's not like everyone's throwing stuff up on random day, because if you throw out the wrong thing, it's not going to get picked up. And then it's taken to, to wherever they take the trash. But it's a very orderly thing that happens here and also in other gated communities.
Now, if you don't live in a gated community, okay, let's say you live in an apartment building or whatever, you put the garbage outside on the sidewalk, okay? And they pick it up the appropriate
They
day.
are bins. They provide bins. The apartment buildings are supposed to have bins, and it's written vetro, glass, plastico, carta for paper. So you have to put it in the right bin.
The problem arises not because Sicilians are animals or that they're bad people or they're slobs. The problem arises when the landfills get filled and it takes them a few days before they accept any more refuse. This is what the problem is, because we do not have the luxury of having places like the United States that has all these things, incinerators or whatever the heck that they do. But rest assured, when I tell you that I would say 97% of the people in Sicily do
Follow
what they're
the
supposed
rules.
to do.
Follow the
okay?
rules.
The other 3% are what we call here uncivil people. These are guys like the contractors that rip down a wall in a house during a job, and they don't want to pay because they have to pay to haul that stuff away. They're the guys that come in the middle of the night and just dump it someplace, all right? Or the morons from the mountains, okay? And I'm going to call them morons for the mountains because what they do is they take the trash, they put it in their car, and they come to the first place that they could see and throw it out their window. And it just irritates me. That irritates me.
So 2 things on that. First of all, that's not the only problem. They also strike all the time. That's a big problem.
Yep.
They strike
I
so
agree.
they don't pick up. But I think what the person was talking about is the despicable trash along the sides. And Al, you haven't been outside the house. It is terrible right now.
Wait a minute. I
wait a
haven't
second.
been outside the house.
Al, my turn. On the sidewalks, as you're driving along, it is despicable. And even our drivers, I said, we were driving to Caltagirone yesterday, and we're not on the highway. We're talking back roads and farms, beautiful farms everywhere, rolling hills. And then on the street, sidewalk littered with trash. That does not have anything to do with trash pickup at our apartment or the strikers or anything. That's just plain people, uneducated, mal educato people throwing their trash over there because I don't know if they don't want to wait for Friday to get rid of their plastics, or they don't want to wait until Tuesday to pick up their trash, or who knows what the reason is. But it is, Al, it is a problem. And you're right. It is highly, highly insulting for someone to call Sicilians animals. It was highly uncalled for because it does happen in a lot of other countries. And I saw someone say, so what do you guys think of the animals in the USA, in other countries? It happens. There are people like that everywhere.
I have to say one more thing.
Let me finish. The biggest thing that has to happen, we had a period where there was not even separating trash. All the trash went into, when I first got here, you
Right.
put all the trash. So there was a period of educating people that you have to separate. And I'm sure a lot of the, people in inner cities on the mountains, or illiterate people or whatever, don't understand that. There's a certain period of learning which has passed. I agree with you. But I think there needs to be some kind of education also, maybe in schools. Maybe they have to do something in schools. I don't know. But something needs to change. And
Wait
we
a
talked
minute.
about this.
Hold it. Okay.
Look at this.
Let's
People are
just-
saying the USA has a trash problem as well.
Absolutely. But wait a minute.
Ciao, Jody.
Hi, Jody. Let me just say this, okay? It has started in the schools. Kids, see, that's where all change has to start from. It has to start ab initio, from the beginning, where you're socially conscious about something, okay? As the population gets even more educated, and as things like preservation of this beautiful country is taught and recycling is taught, which it is, okay, this problem sooner or later will dissipate. That's number one. Number two, it's an
It's a
enforcement.
cultural.
It's an enforcement issue as well. Okay.
How can they enforce it?
Excuse me. We have the environmental police here in Sicily. These guys are cops that go around, and if they catch you throwing garbage where it's not supposed to be, or say, for example, you come from one town and you're dumping it in the middle of the night over
Which
there,
happens.
you're fined €300. Okay. The
And
problem
some
is this:
cameras,
is
too.
that the communities do not. Taormina is a perfect example. Taormina, the pearl of Europe. People complain up there all the time because they see garbage on the road. Well, guess what? Taormina is broke right now, so they don't. They have to cut the corners, and maybe perhaps if a environmental cop gets retired, they don't fill the position because they don't have it in the budget.
That's definitely a big issue.
Look at Catania, okay? People talk about Catania. Catania has 1,700 cops budgeted for the local police. There are only 700 cops in Catania. Well, what about the 900 other cops? Well, those are the cops that have retired. And the town doesn't have the money to pay for them hiring people. So
Now, they have other
there
problems.
are very
They have
complex
other
problems,
that
right?
need dealing
There are
with.
very complex, but I know one thing, okay? It's a 2% or a 3% problem. It's not a 98% problem.
No,
okay?
and other
And it bothers me
Sicilians
a great
and
deal
the other
when someone
Sicilians.
calls, and I take it as a personal affront.
I
mean,
agree.
if that guy was in front of me, he would have got a freaking throat chop. Right now, I'm telling you right now, I was irritated about it. And the first thing that when she got up, I said, "Hey, listen, I deleted this guy."
I said, good.
And I was a little bit irritated about it. And I don't like to talk about garbage, but that's what I had to say, buddy.
Okay. I love your show. I would love to see you both when I finally get there. Rose, sounds good. Let's read a few more. Building permits require proper trash removal in Massachusetts. There was someone else who was very overcome. I got tears in my eyes hearing Mike. Sicily does that to you, says our good friend Nancy. All right, we just had a little bit about everything, and I know you want to have the last word because you always want to have the last word. So think about what you're going to have for the last word. In the meantime, hope you guys enjoyed this. What do you guys want to hear about? We're going to go live probably one more time before we do our other chats. On that note, I can't wait to
Wait
go
a minute, I
eat
have
some
a couple
chicken.
of things. Don't be
Of
saying
course
that
you
note.
know.
It's not
I
on
know.
that note. It's
I
on your
said-
note. It's not on my note.
I
I have
said,
a lot of
thank-
notes left to go.
You've got a minute.
Thanks. First of all, we really appreciate when you jump in and you become a member on our programming. It's $1.99 a month, less than a cup of coffee. It helps us offset everything, all the costs involved in promoting a program, putting the program on, her traveling around with gas $9 a gallon. It costs money to put this stuff on. Join, okay? We have about 25% of all the money that comes in onto this program now comes from our small independent sponsors at $1.99. So please, if you enjoy our programming, join. That's what, $25 a month? A year? That's not much. Or like somebody wrote us last week, geez, we like this town. How about going over there? My view is, how much do you like it? Why don't you pay us to pay the to go there to do a whole piece on your ancestral village.
I forgot we haven't done that in
We
a
haven't
long
done
time.
we haven't done some of those. So you have a place that we haven't done. Would you like to sponsor it? We'll go. Have camera. We'll travel, Esther. That's what I say. And then
let
finally,
me read
right.
this, Nick. As an older individual, I have a saying that people should take to heart. It's later than you think. Don't put off tomorrow what you should do today. Take a tour
Thanks,
with
Nick.
Alfred and Esther. Grazie mille, Nick.
we
I
do
love
a good
our Sunday
Esther,
community
listen,
here.
Listen to me. I've been in the tour business a lot longer than Esther. Okay, and when I did it myself, my tours were a little bit more mercenary than hers. We did it like other people. When I had my own tour business, we would go to a hotel, one hotel, drop them off. They would eat there every night of the week. She gets involved, and all of a sudden, the one thing that my tours lacked, she brought, which is the goodness of her heart, the love that's in her heart. If you don't like a woman like Esther taking you around and attending to, believe me when I say every detail, to the point that sometimes she could be a little pain in the butt, then you want to come with us, okay? Everybody who comes on our tours becomes our friend and becomes our family. And why do you think it is? Because of me and my abrasive personality? It's because of this one over here, the mighty Bunster.
It's not because of my personal. It's Sicily. Sicily
Yeah, it is
speaks
Sicily
for
too.
itself, and I just happen to be a guiding hand to show you what are
You're
the
the
best
storyteller.
places. What are the best places to eat? What are the best places to visit? What are the best of best in Sicily? So on that note,
There you go.
thank you for being here, and we'll see you on another video of you, me, and Sicily. Arrivederci.
Sabenediga.